Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Dangerous Relationship along Subaru Oshima's path. Well, on the end of his path because we're down to his extras now, his sequel and his date scenario. First off, his sequel, A Pure White Trip. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story.
I want to get one more shot in. Look this way, please. Got it.
Subaru stood tall, with a charming pose so handsome he might have been a real model.
Great, thanks. I got what I wanted. Good work. You too.
Ryo, good work.
You made it easy with the fabulous outfit you picked out for me today.
You look so good in everything, I barely even have to try. At first I was unsure how I should act around Subaru in the workplace. I got used to it after a while, and now acting professional seemed very natural. However...
We're finally alone.
In the dressing room, I had to be extra careful around him as always. I know, but we still need to be careful.
You don't think I know that?
I think you know that, but I think that you're still not careful enough. If I ever let my guard down around him, he would sneak a kiss at any chance. At home, that was fine, but in the studio someone might see us. Tomorrow you're on a talk show as a guest, right? I changed the subject while I continued to fold clothes and put them away.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what you got picked out for me. Every time I put on one of your outfits, it feels like a new me. Considering how long we worked together, that's pretty impressive if you ask me.
When I'm with you, I always imagine you wearing any neat clothes I see. The images just pop in my head, and I use them for work.
It's the same for me too. When I'm with you, new songs just come to me. We must be made for each other.
Subaru leaned in, bringing his lips right next to my ears.
In public and in private.
His voice came out so sensually, it gave me chills. Don't forget we're just a rock star and a stylist here at work.
You're right. Sorry. But you've been working with me so often lately, you're practically my own.
I know. I pretty much think about you all day and all night too.
Oh, I should have you dress me up for our dates too.
That might be fun.
Eventually, I'll make you my permanent stylist. Then you'll be mine forever.
I'm already yours.
But, I mean, with a contract and all.
Officially. He glanced at me with a smile.
Haven't you thought about our future?
Our future? Knock knock. Someone at the door interrupted our conversation. Udo, can I talk to you for a moment? His manager called out from the other side.
I'll be right out.
Subaru sighed as he got up and made for the door.
See you later.
He muttered as he walked out reluctantly. That part about our future was still on my mind. Bye now. For a second, I had a crazy fantasy of what that future might be. I soon shook that thought away, since just dating him was a miracle enough. I can't get ahead of myself here. His meeting with the manager would go on for a while, so I left home without him. I guess I left for home without him? But a few days later... What? You're going overseas?
That's the idea. They asked me about performing out of the country. I'll still have concerts here too, but I'll be going back and forth between other places and here. Oh, I thought it would be a good start to do a half-year tour all over the world.
6 months? That seemed like an eternity to be without Subaru. But I think he'll need a stylist.
It would be a good opportunity to challenge myself in my music.
I saw the fire and excitement in his eyes to take his music to the next level. It wasn't my place to hold him back from achieving his dreams.
This is a great chance for me. What do you think?
He asked, his face full of concern. The thought of losing him for so long was devastating, but I couldn't stop him. I think it's wonderful.
Great. You'll have to pack your bags too.
What? I'm coming too? Overseas?
Of course. How else are you going to support me?
He smiled, as if my coming was planned out long in advance.
You're what makes my music possible. I couldn't do it without you. I need you to be by my side forever.
Subaru was inviting me to join him on his overseas tour. I want to be with you too, but...
Worried about work?
Yeah, if I go with you, I won't be able to work except as your personal stylist. That means I'll have to change what I'm doing.
I know. You don't have to make up your mind right away. Think about it.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's an important decision for you, so take your time.
All right.
It might be hard for you to think with me here, so I'll leave for today. I'll see you again the day after tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. I'll have an answer for... Before I could say any more, he pushed his finger on my lip.
Don't rush it. You need to ask yourself if this decision is right for you. Take all the time you need until you're sure of it.
He pulled back his finger as I nodded. This was a decision that would impact both our futures. The next day, after working with an actress, I went to discuss the situation with my boss. I heard a bit about it already. Rio was asking you to join him, right? Yes, he wants me to be his personal stylist. Well, I can see why. His music is picking up a lot of steam overseas. If you go with him, you'll have to leave here and freelance. Yeah. You're one of our best, so I'd hate to see you leave us, but... A chance like this doesn't happen every day, you know. If I were you, I'd go for it. But in the end, the choice is yours alone. You have my support either way. Thanks. I had to make a huge decision that would impact my life. Going overseas was a bit scary, but if I was with Subaru, everything would be alright. Maybe I should go with him then. Just then, beep. My phone started vibrating and beeped at me. A message from Subaru? I was all done with work and about to head home when Subaru messaged me.
Done with work? Can we talk at the cafe?
I was pretty confident that he wanted to talk about my decision. Sure, I'll head there now. After typing in my reply, I head straight for the cafe. Jingle. Entering the cafe, the charming and familiar cowbell swung on the door.
Welcome. You'll find him upstairs.
The cafe was already past normal hours. As such, the owner was waiting for me to come before locking the door. Thank you. I walked up the stairs after thanking him, and then...
Thanks for coming. Sit down.
Subaru pulled out a chair for me, and I took a seat. Thanks. A luxurious meal and 2 wine glasses were all set out on the table. It was nothing like the cafe I was used to.
Would you like a drink? I've got champagne right here if you want some.
Sure, thanks. He seemed to be acting more nervous than usual for some reason. He poured the champagne into a glass and handed it to me. I'll pour yours. Subaru held out his glass while I poured his share of the drink.
Thanks. Cheers.
Cheers. The glasses chimed together loudly. It tastes wonderful.
I'm glad you like it. Go ahead and eat if you like. I'm sure you're hungry.
Okay. The prepared meal resembled more of a fancy dinner than cafe leftovers. What was it you wanted to talk about?
Well, let's save it until after we eat.
Okay. Whatever it was, it had to be something serious. Subaru hadn't talked much since I joined him in the cafe. He usually chatted about all sorts of things when we ate. Today was different. After downing the last of his dessert, he let out a long sigh.
I know we talked about it earlier, but...
This is about going overseas, right?
Yes and no.
His eyes drifted about the room as he stumbled for the right words. Did a problem come up with your tour?
No, it's not that. It's about coming with me. You know I want you to, but I didn't tell you the entire truth.
A bead of sweat formed on his forehead. He must be extremely nervous to be acting like this.
Remember how I was talking about our future?
Yes.
I've been thinking about this way before I brought it up with you. I know my own feelings, but it's your feelings that are still a mystery to me.
He stared down at the table nervously. Aww.
As soon as I found out about going overseas, I asked you to come with me.
Subaru was trying his best to convey his feelings to me. I could just speak up and make this so much easier for him. I already made up my mind.
Wait.
I had decided to go with him in the first place. He didn't need to convince me anymore.
Let me finish before you say anything. I asked you to come with me, yes. I wanted you to think of our future. I want you to answer after thinking everything over.
Okay.
Thank you.
Subaru reached into his bag and brought out a small box. Oh!
First, there's this.
He placed the box in front of me. With shaking hands, he cracked it open. Wow, he's so nervous! Inside the box, he revealed a small ring. Subaru, this...
It's an engagement ring. When I spoke about our future, this is what I meant. I realize this may be sudden and too soon for you, but I can't think of any future I want to have besides the one with you. Instead of hiding our relationship and keeping it secret, I want to be proud to be with you and let everyone know I am.
Subaru continued, blushing bright and bashfully looking at me.
Of course, I don't plan to reveal your name to the public. I just want our close friends to know and be able to congratulate us.
After a slight silence, Subaru went on.
Dirili D, will you marry me?
His eyes bored into me with utmost sincerity. Was I dreaming? Just dating him was such a miracle. Being married seemed too good to be true. But there he was, right before my eyes.
Will you wear this ring for me?
Yes.
Thank you, my future wife.
When he referred to me as his wife, it scrambled all thoughts in my head.
Or should I call you honey?
He asked with a teasing smirk.
Since we're going overseas, maybe I should call you my darling instead.
That's a bit too embarrassing for me.
Then, how about my wifey?
Are you trying to make me gag?
Maybe I am.
We looked at each other and laughed. Subaru had proposed to me, meaning someday soon we would be husband and wife.
I'm so glad that's over. I was so worried you might say no.
He let out an exhausted sigh. You were that worried?
Well, I know you love me a whole lot, but love and marriage are two different things. I thought you'd say you weren't ready yet. You can't even imagine how nerve-wracking it was. Nothing even comes close.
It was that bad?
Yeah, much worse than my first time singing at a big venue. That's right. I'm going to have to visit your parents, aren't I?
He clenched his fist tight and looked hard at me.
It makes me nervous just thinking about it. What do I say? How am I supposed to act?
His worried face pleaded at me for help. You don't have to make a big deal out of it. Wait, I'm going to have to meet your parents too. What if I screw up or say something stupid? Now I'm nervous too.
Don't worry about my parents. They'll love you. I fell in love with you at first sight, so I bet they will too.
Mine might be in for a surprise when they meet you.
What will they say about marrying a rock star? I better wear a suit when I go.
He grabbed a notepad and wrote down that idea.
Well, I guess we're going to have our hands full. Let's do our best, together.
Yeah.
The first thing we need to do is pick out your wedding dress.
What? That's where you want to start?
Yeah, it's the most important part. How about you pick out my tuxedo and I pick out your wedding dress?
I'm fine with that. I don't know. We don't know what his sense of style's like.
Then, where do you want to have the wedding?
Our conversation went deep into the night. The wedding planning was underway. It was the last night before we were to leave Japan. We lay side by side on the bed in my bare and empty home.
This is our last night together here.
Tomorrow around this time, we'll be in America.
That's not all.
He wrapped his pinky around mine.
Tomorrow, we'll make our vows to one another. Are you excited?
Yeah. I nodded, and Subaru drew me close by my shoulders.
It's our last time in this room, too. Our last night here as lovers.
And our last night being officially single.
I'd love to have one last memory of this place.
Subaru wrapped his arms around me from behind. Hey!
You don't like it that way?
I never said that. Then what are you protesting for? He crawled around me and pinned my body down from above.
You know I love to try new things, but this time I want to stare into your eyes when I make love to you.
Slithering his hands between my thighs, he spread my legs open.
I'll love you gently tonight.
He moved his body between my legs while caressing my cheek with his hand. You're always gentle with me. Really? I remember a couple times when we were left exhausted, and he said he pushed us over the edge. Was he really so gentle then?
This time I'll be so delicate, your heart will melt into pieces.
Subaru pressed his body on top of me, leaning his face even closer.
Here's a steamy kiss just for you. And one for your favorite place, too.
Be gentle.
Just look at how cute you've become. That was just the beginning. The show hasn't even started yet.
Your tongue.
I can taste all of you.
Don't say that.
You're so wet. I'm not done with you yet.
Our last night before becoming a married couple was spent together in bed. I moaned with pleasure as the bed bounced up and down.
Oh, are you okay? Does it hurt?
He asked with concern while the bed spring settled. No, I'm fine.
The first time we did it was in this bed.
Yeah.
Ever since then? No, way before then. My mind has been flooded with you.
He stroked my hair and nibbled on my ear before shaking the bed again. Me too. Ever since then. I've always...
Always what?
He stared down at me and stopped moving his body. Don't stop.
I'm not. I just wanted to hear you.
He gently blew into my ear, making me shiver. Hear what?
Your song, of course.
I'm not singing.
You are, though. Your whole body is singing its love for me. You were just about to say your feelings for me. There's no better sound than that orchestra of your love.
Orchestra?
Yeah. It's our last orchestra together as lovers, just you and me. So, sing for me with all the love in your body. Play me a deep song inside your heart.
His whispers gently brushed my ear before his body filled me with intensity. Subaru, ever since I met you, I've always loved you.
Thank you. I love you too. Today and tomorrow, I'll be yours forever.
Subaru. With our hands clasped together, our love went on through the night. After an exhausting session of love, we both collapsed onto the bed.
Tomorrow's finally the day.
He held my head in his arms while stroking through my hair. Yeah.
I can finally have you all for myself.
I have been.
But this time, it's a pledge in front of God. No one can stand in our way anymore.
He smiled at me full of satisfaction. Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Subaru crawled out of bed and pulled me by the hand into his arms. Huh?
Let's have a rehearsal.
He knelt down and held my hand. For what?
The wedding ceremony, of course.
With a kiss on my fingers, he looked up and smiled at me. Oh.
Look, this is just like a knight and a princess. Or should I say, prince and princess.
Me? Princess? I was very pleased to be called that, especially by him.
Well, you are the princess of my life. My princess. I, Subaru Oshima, pledge my life to you. I will have you from this day forward, for better or worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, until death do us part.
His voice sang out sweetly as he vowed his love and kissed my hand. He stood up, and his big lovely eyes stared straight into mine.
I promise, I'll make you happy.
Subaru. We both leaned forward and shared in a passionate and wonderful kiss. No matter what happened, there was nothing to fear as long as we were together. Starting tomorrow, we would always belong at each other's side, now and forever.
I love you, Dirili. I'll be yours forever, and you forever mine.
Well, that was lovely and sweet. A while had passed since Subaru's return to the stage, and the uproar had greatly settled down. About time. However, the days were busy as always, so we still didn't get to be together that much. When our time off overlapped one day, it was no surprise that Subaru came to sleep over. A warm feeling brushed up against the small of my back.
Good morning,
Subaru whispered, with his face right next to my ear. Subaru! Drowsy from sleep, I wasn't expecting to be grabbed from behind at all, let alone half of my clothes tugged at and pushed to the side. His hands slithered under what little I wore, rubbing against my bare skin.
That's right.
He nuzzled his cheek against my shoulder. It's too early for this.
Why?
But because it's too bright.
You're embarrassed because it's bright.
Apparently in Japan, wake-up sex is not a big thing. Yes.
Well then.
He stood up and flung the curtains wide open.
What fabulous weather today. It's so nice and bright out.
Is it? I leaned up on my arm as if to push myself finally out of bed.
Now we're all set.
Subaru climbed in bed and straddled my body. What? It's too embarrassing when it's so bright in here.
I know, you just said that. But you've never done it under the sunlight before, right?
Really? I thought we have.
Or have you with someone else?
No, of course not.
So, don't you want to try it at least once? You might have been missing out on something good this whole time.
Subaru pinned my hands down and licked my exposed breasts with his tongue. It was our first time sleeping together in a while, and Subaru was all over me as soon as he woke up.
Your skin is so smooth.
He ran his tongue across it. Stop!
I haven't been able to see you in so long. I have to make up for it. You want it too, don't you? I'll make you feel good.
His warm hands clasped around my breasts.
Feels good, doesn't it?
I wasn't about to deny it, but it was too embarrassing to admit it at the same time.
No? Then I'll have to do better. I'll make you feel it deeper inside.
Subaru flipped me over and covered my eyes with his palm.
It won't feel embarrassing if you can't see a thing.
That's not how... With my eyes covered, I felt like my other senses were amplified with pleasure.
Just leave everything to me. I'll make you feel good, I promise.
His steaming breath tickled my ear as he wrapped his arms around me tightly. And then... Oh my God! I collapsed on the bed, so exhausted I couldn't lift an arm.
Maybe I went a little too far.
He was always extra caring and loving after our time in bed. Subaru held me, stroking my hair, until I caught my breath.
You were just acting so cute. I may have gone overboard.
Contrary to what he said, I thought he always loved me very tenderly. It's okay. I'm only this tired because I was enjoying it so much.
Yeah? I don't feel so bad then. You're probably too tired to do anything physical for a while.
He squeezed his arms around my waist and locked hands with me.
Just lying here with you, though, feeling your warmth is good enough for me.
Me too. I love being here at your side.
Makes you really feel loved, doesn't it? Well, it does at least for me. It's been so long since we spent time together. We need to enjoy this day. How about a date?
What? Really? A date? You mean like outside?
Yeah. Being inside is alright, but with the weather being so nice outside.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the rumors had died down. If the two of us were seen, it would be a problem. Disguise! Hat and glasses.
You don't think it's a good idea?
Well, what if someone sees us?
Shouldn't be a problem. If we go to that cafe.
I guess not. If we hid in there, so few customers usually came that it wouldn't be a problem.
Or we could try another.
What do you do on your days off when you aren't with me anyhow?
It really depends on the season, but lately I've been surfing.
What? You have?
Does that surprise you?
Yeah, it doesn't really fit the image of a rock star.
I guess not, but to make songs, you need to fill your life with experiences. So I try almost everything I can. Surfing just happens to be one of those things. I just tried it out one time, but riding the waves was way more fun than I thought.
Yeah?
I always thought surfing looked so cool. So, do you want me to teach you to do it sometime?
Yeah.
I'll bring you along next time then.
Surfing is freaking hard. Cool, I can't wait to see.
It'll be boring if you just watch. I'll teach you how.
You think I can? I'm so clumsy.
Sure, with some practice, you'll love riding in the waves as much as I do. But to do anything, you're going to need a board and a leash at least. Want to go look for one?
What? Right now? That can be our date, I guess. Surfing with Subaru seemed like a good idea. However, I wasn't sure if I was ready to buy a board just yet.
Might as well. We already decided to go out today, right?
Well, we could actually rent one, we don't have to buy one. So, it's a shopping date? Okay, let me get ready.
Before that,
right as I rolled to get out of bed and change, Subaru held my arm back.
Another round? I want to lie here a little longer.
He wrapped his arms around me from behind and dragged me back into bed. 5 more minutes?
Yeah, that's it.
Subaru nuzzled his face on my shoulder and squeezed me tight.
You're so soft. You're the best pillow I could ask for.
Do you sleep better if you hold on to one?
Only if it's you.
You can use me whenever you want then.
I will.
Subaru began to softly sing a song. What is that?
It's supposed to be a lullaby. Does it make you sleepy?
Your voice is so lovely, it's waking me up instead.
Oh well, opposite effect. I guess we should get out of bed then, if we're going to go shopping.
Okay.
Almost forgot something.
He held my chin between his fingers and leaned in for a kiss. It was a deep and passionate kiss, lasting much longer than usual. That's a good morning kiss that really wakes you up. I don't know if we're going to get around to shopping this way.
Good. Today's going to be a lot of fun. Just make sure you keep your eyes on me and no one else.
He smiled, extending a hand to pull me out of bed. We made it! We headed to the store, trying our best to evade being seen wherever possible.
It's a super secret date.
Yeah. It would somewhat ruin our date, but it was something we had to do anyway. My eyes were constantly scanning our surroundings, looking out for threats.
You're looking around too much. It's a date. You should be looking at me.
Oops, sorry.
Speaking of a date, we should hold hands or cross arms.
Well, I wanted to cross arms with him. That might make us stick out too much. Well, we can hold hands.
Good.
Subaru tucked his hand through my arm and wrapped his arm around mine. I just said hands, didn't I?
But you wanted to lock arms, right?
How did you know?
The truth is, I can read your heart. Or not. You were just staring at my arm, though. It wasn't hard to guess.
Really? Was I? Shoot, I guess I make it too easy to read my emotions.
Not necessarily. I can only do it because I love you. I'm always watching you, so it's easy for me. Your heart just fluttered, didn't it?
How did you...
Your face is all red.
He chuckled and poked my cheek with his finger.
It's great being able to see your emotions on your face. I can see how happy you are without even having to ask. It makes me want to put a smile on that face. Anything I can do for you that would make you happy?
He asked, bringing his face extremely close to mine. Something that would make me happy. I gave it some thought, making Subaru laugh and fold his arms together.
Can't think of anything?
Not yet.
Then take your time and tell me when you do.
We turned down a smaller road with less foot traffic to get to the store.
There it is.
He jumped ahead and ran toward the building.
We're here.
Subaru had just pointed to the store sign when a man came walking out from inside.
If it isn't Subaru. Hey, it's been a while. So everyone's been after you lately. Did you get through in one piece? Yeah, for the most part. Or are you with that fine lady over there?
Since we were trying to keep our relationship a secret, I didn't want to say. I'm just his... I would just have to tell the man I was only a stylist.
Yeah, she's my girlfriend.
Subaru, what are you...
It's fine. I trust this guy. He's not going to tell anyone. Besides, he's smart enough to figure out the truth even if we don't tell him. No use in hiding it. It'll just make things more confusing for everyone. Well, that was nice of you. It's the least I can do for a longtime friend. So, what brings you here today? Came to show off your girl? That's part of it.
Subaru joked with a smirk.
Huh, at least you're honest. And to get some things for surfing. We were hoping to go together, so we came to pick up a board and some things. Yeah? You'll be surfing together? Have you ever gone surfing before?
No, this will be my first time doing it.
If that's the case, you're going to want to look at...
A while later, the two of them went on and on talking about boards and waves and words I'd never heard. They seemed to be picking out surfboards for me, but I was completely lost otherwise.
Sorry, this might be confusing for a beginner.
It's okay. I trust you'll make the best decision for me.
Thanks. Why don't you pick a pattern? You'll like the board more if it's something you choose.
Subaru patted me on the shoulder as we looked at the row of surfboards. They all look so neat.
There's a lot more to choose from inside the store, so keep that in mind too.
Okay.
I think an elegant design might work better for you.
Subaru pointed to a board leaning by the front window. Wow, that's a nice one too.
What about a wetsuit? I use different ones depending on the season, but for right now, I think you'll be fine with just one. And then again, who knows when we'll get a day off together? Maybe we should get them all.
What? Really?
Yeah, a swimsuit too.
A swimsuit? What for?
It's the beach, right? Don't you want to swim?
Yeah, but...
If we go to a private beach, no one will be there, so you don't have to worry.
Oh.
It'd be nice if just the two of us went to a remote island down south, huh? I know of a few good resorts, so we should go sometime.
Okay.
You two running off to elope or something?
I stared back at him with a blank face.
Maybe something like that.
Subaru didn't even try to deny it.
Well, let me bring out some boards from the back. Pick out your favorite, okay? Thanks.
Meanwhile, Subaru led me to another row of boards, guiding me by the hand. After much explaining and debating, we finally settled on a bunch of gear on a board. Thank you so much.
Don't mention it. I appreciate the business. I never came here expecting to buy so much all at once. Somehow, it was more fun buying for her than me. Can't wait to get out there and surf together. So, you want me to deliver all this stuff to your place, or...? Yeah, that would be great. There's way too much for us to lug around right now. Alright. If you find out you need anything else, you know where to come. Okay, will do.
We thanked the shopkeeper for his service and left the surf shop for our next destination.
That was fun. I bet you're hungry after all that talking. Want to grab a bite?
Sure. And so we're on our way. It was no surprise that the two of us ended up at the usual cafe. It was normal business hours, so we snuck through the back and went to the second floor. I'm really grateful for what you did for me. If I had known you were going to pay for all the gear, I wouldn't have picked out...
It's okay. Surfing was my idea, right?
He smirked and sipped his coffee.
I won't be so busy after the tour. We should find a day to go after it sometime. Will you be able to get off?
I think I'll be able to, as long as I put in the request early.
Lately you're so sought after that someone might request you and ruin it. I better get in before them.
What are you doing?
Just hold on a second.
Before I could stop him, Subaru grabbed his phone and called my office. He found out my schedule and asked if he could reserve me as his stylist.
And they said okay. You're mine for the week, so we'll have all the time we need together.
You're so bad.
Not really. It's being with you that makes me do things like this.
Subaru remarked with a wink.
Once we're done eating, we can go back home and start planning our vacation.
Sounds good. Going on a vacation together sounded like so much fun. I couldn't wait to go. What a tasty meal. First shopping, then good food. It's a perfect date if you ask me.
Yeah, good to know. Hopefully our next date will be even better. Surfing is one thing, but there's so many other places I want to take you. The movies, stargazing in the mountains, the list goes on and on.
Well, if we go on tour together, we might be able to sneak away to do a few things. You've got that many?
Yeah, so many that it's hard to decide where I want to go next.
We can worry about surfing first.
Right. We'll plan out the perfect date.
I really had no idea you were the kind of person who surfs. You never mentioned it, even in all the interviews you've had.
Since when have you known so much about me?
Since always. I'm your biggest fan.
Don't forget Lover.
Obviously that was true, but hearing it made me blush.
You're right. I've never said anything about surfing to anyone. I'm not surprised even my fan clubs don't know about it.
Not that I know of any.
So, that makes it our little secret.
Okay, I won't tell anyone about that store either. I promise.
Thanks. I've been going there ever since I started surfing. The owner there has taught me pretty much everything I know.
His eyes stared into the distance as he remembered some fond memories.
At first, I started surfing on the beaches of Japan. I wasn't big back then, so I had a lot more time to go places. I went all over the coast from east to west.
That sounds fun. Have you gone surfing overseas?
A few times, but there are still so many waves I want to ride even today. But, you know...
Subaru glanced at me to get my attention. I waited for him to continue. What? He held around my shoulder and pulled me to his side.
I love riding waves, but I love riding you the most.
Oh, I had a feeling he was going to say that. Subaru. His confession caught me completely off guard, making me blush from head to toe.
Look at you. You're so red and cute. It makes me want to eat you up.
Subaru pecked me on the cheek with a kiss.
Yep, delicious. Just like I remember.
I'm not a food.
I think I'm going to eat that next.
He pointed to my lips with a dazzling smile. You can't. I turned my face away to avoid his likely attack.
Why not?
We're still out and about. What are you going to do if someone sees us?
Right. Then how about...
He whispered to me, tickling my ear.
I'll eat you once we get home.
His mischievous grin and daring eyes tempted me.
Having said that, let's hurry up and get home.
He tugged me by the hand, pulling me ahead. Did he always get his way, or did I always let him get his way? Just then... Subaru!
That's right, Dirili. You're so adorable.
Whenever you say that, You said you were only going to kiss me.
I am only kissing you.
You didn't say where. But that's not...
I never said I would be kissing only your lips. There's so much more of you I want to love too. Dirili, I love you. I won't let go of you tonight.
And so our wonderful date came to an end, but our love had just begun. And so that's it for our dear Subaru. He was nice and sweet, and he's definitely gorgeous. That's the thing that drew me in most, I have to admit. And his eyes, I love his coloring, you know, his hair color with his eye color, gorgeous. But one thing about this whole game that makes me a little sad is that the character art is better than the CGs. He looks so much better in his avatar pictures than he does in the actual CG scenes. I'm like, kind of takes the excitement a little out of getting the scenes. But definitely up the ante that he was such an aggressive lover. I was like, oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, if it were real life, I would love to date a guy like this. I would definitely be happy being with somebody like this. I don't know, I've gotten along with quite a few tsundere guys too in real life, so... Actually, somebody like Taiga I might get along with pretty well too. Well, I'm 40, I've dated quite a few guys in my lifetime. Well, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, now that I've done Subaru's route, I can devote myself fully to Taiga. My favorite so far. And one of my favorite guys, period, in a while in these type of games, the Dogenzaka games. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anybody I like better in the Dogenzaka games so far. I don't know, I'd have to review. And there's still more to read yet. Alright, well anyway, hope to see you in some of Taiga's videos or some other ones. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye bye everybody.